Right, good evening. We're live. It's doubles and trebles on a Thursday night at 8:30 as normal. We would normally preview the flat action because we only pay attention to flat racing that comes out of my mouth. But following rave reviews last week for the contributions of Mr. SD, is his alias, he's back again this week. And it's a good week to have him back again. And I'll tell you why. There's two reasons. He put up a couple of winners last week, which he will be speaking about in a minute, Snow Lantern being one of them. But also this week, the ITV racing isn't vintage. It's not brilliant compared to other weeks. We can't have the best every week. But this week, we've got 4 racers from Newbury and 3 racers from Market Rasen. Now, in normal times, Market Rasen wouldn't be covered in this on this channel because I've got no interest. But Mr. SD, a man of all racing, will be able to cover Market Rasen in depth. So good evening, SD. How are you?
Good evening. Oh, I'm absolutely brilliant. I mean, the card at Market Rasen isn't the best. We've got a card at Newbury which is just a loser card. It's the can't run in the Eclipse, can't run in the Northumberland Plate, can't run in the July Cup, and then we've got the juveniles. So it's brilliant.
Well, absolutely. Decent start for you last week. Other than that dog you put up at Hamilton that took 2 minutes of live airtime last week and came nowhere and went off 3 times the price that you put it up at. But on a positive note, like we said, Snow Lantern, I think Brando ran pretty well in the enhanced place races, like you said it would. Star of Emirati got a place, as we agreed it would. There was a small profit on the official selections from myself last week, 12 point stake, 14.9 returned. Nothing to write home about, but we'll take it. Chipping away, that's profit of 3 of the last 4 weeks. Still well in front overall, well in front. So before we get stuck into the Saturday action, just a quick reflection on the 2 Group 1s from last week. Snow Lantern, the winner of a pretty messy Falmouth. A bit of a bunch finish with old rivals Mother Earth, Alcohol Free and Snow Lantern. The 2 former named Mother Earth and Alcohol Free have raced against each other 3 times this year. They've swapped positions each time. Snow Lantern's been in 2 of those races. So it's difficult to call Group 1 winners much of a muchness, but it appears that a lot of these will reoppose again in the Sun Chariot Stakes, and we'll probably get a different winner again. So possibly no superstar in the Fillies and Mere Bunch at this point in the season, but they'll continue to put up good race and beat each other. Lady Beaufort was unlucky in that race from quite a long way back. It got hampered, etc. She was a 4-year-old closing the distance. I think 3-year-olds filled the first 3 places. Snow Lantern, impressive. She's been threatening to do that for some time. SD, I know you put her up. What did you make of it?
She improved. That's why she won.
Yeah.
So she improved. If she improves again, she'll be a couple of lengths better than them. But you can just see what's going to happen at Double Cart. Your Lady Beaufort, Willie Jarvis will be crying in the Richmond stand when she's jammed in on the rail again.
Yeah.
And you could just call it now.
Yeah. They're looking at how I saw it was that Alcohol Free and Mother Earth do not want an inch further than a mile. They're at their maximum, in my opinion, at a mile, the distance of. Whereas Snow Lantern and Lady Beaufort could and probably will get 10 furlongs. That's why they're looking at the Nassau Stakes at Goodwood. I'll chuck Snow Lantern in the mile race, to be honest with you. Why not? I think it would make it fascinating. And Richard Hannon often says about these milers, oh, well, when we have a good miler, everyone talks about him stepping up to 10 furlongs. And, he's one for sticking at the mile. So hopefully they do. It would make it a great race, the Sussex Stakes, but I doubt they will. So I think we'll probably see Snow Lantern and Lady Beaufort in the Nassau. And on Saturday, there was the other Group 1, another Group 1 with a big field, the July Cup. I thought it was an excellent renewal. All the right horses running well. I thought it was a monster performance from Starman. I really did. I said that he could be good. Ed Walker talked him up as being pretty good, and he had to prove it, and prove it he did. He was absolutely excellent, I thought, Starman. Seriously hampered on a couple of occasions, almost to a standstill, one going away. Like I say, Ed Walker said he was good, and he was. He has to have quick ground. It was quick ground last weekend. He has to have that going forward. So I'm not sure where he will turn up or where he won't turn up. He's unlikely to get a 6 furlong race in the UK Group 1 with quick ground again this year. The next one on the list is Haydock Sprint Cup in early September. We know what can happen with the ground at Haydock. Dragon Symbol was my selection, and again, he's ran another cracker to be second. if you was inclined to back him each way with those enhanced places terms that we spoke about last week, you'd have lost a couple of quid each way, but you've got your money's worth out of him with another cracking run. SD, what did you make of the Group 1 July Cup?
Well, I'm not quite as enthusiastic as you, because I'm naturally pessimistic. Now, look, this horse won, okay. But, look, his trainer's never had the life of it before. The way he runs would suggest to me that he could meet trouble in running in the future. It's an uphill finish at Newmarket. He wouldn't get that at Haydock. Let's assume it's quick ground. And I thought Art Power was ridden... Chelsea Gordon could have ridden Art Power better. It was another dreadful ride where the foot was down on the accelerator throughout, and would you believe it, he ran out of puff. What I say to Tim Easterby is this: jock Sylvester on. He doesn't know how to ride the horse. The horse can win a Group 1, he can win the Sprint Cup, but not with Sylvester on riding like that.
Yeah, well, we did warn viewers last week in regards to the way that Art Power was ridden at Ascot by the same jockey, and it might happen again, and lo and behold, it did. Anyway, on to this Saturday's action, SD. I'll be covering Newbury primarily, and you'll be chipping in, and then the Jumps boys will be getting a bit of a fix at Market Rasen for 3 races on ITV from the Lincolnshire track. We'll go in chronological order, as there is nothing absolutely stand out on ITV this weekend. The 150 at Newbury, the Steventon Stakes over 10 furlongs, looks a good race to me. There's some good horses in here. Real World is near the top of the market, up to listed level following a runaway success in the Hunt Cup. This is over 10 furlongs, though. 10 furlongs round a bend at Newbury on good to soft. Officially, it is drying out, but it is officially good to soft as we speak. It's pretty different than Ascot Straight Mile on good to firm. So I'd be happy to take on Real World. He's around the 9-2 mark. And the one that I would take him on with is Derab. He's the one for me. I think Derab will and should go off favourite. He's currently 9-2. For starters, Derab is a full brother to the half-decent horse called Enable. Deemed good enough to contest the French Derby just 3 weeks after his first ever win. That was in a Newmarket novice race. He was then packed off to the French Derby over 10 furlongs, sent off at just 6.5-1. So he was right up there with the key players in that race for the French Derby. He pretty much had no chance from a wide draw, none whatsoever. Ran basically a nothing race. This looks a perfect race for Derab, in my opinion. The good soft ground will be to his liking. Yes, it is drying somewhat. He was a intended runner in the mile race last Friday at Newmarket. He was a late non-runner there. I think he's better over 10, and I think he might have been a non-runner because of the quick ground. I wouldn't want it too quick for him on Saturday, but I don't think it will be. I just think Derab's an exciting horse and should be winning this. If he is as good as what he should be on breeding and on reputation, if you like, I think he should be winning this. He's 9-2 general, and I'd expect SD may have some opinions on some more of the exposed runners in the field, of which there are many.
Well, I agree with you, great man. I mean, Derab, the only thing you didn't mention is, obviously, because of Philly's allowances, he gave Stowe Lantern, £5, ran into 11 3/4 here. I think the 3-year-old allowance comes into it at this time of year, and I think he should win, and he should be a good deal short. I'd have him at 3-1.
Yeah, I think he should be shorter. I mean, we shouldn't be dismissing the likes of Solid Stone, who again ran another solid race at Ascot last time, as did Moving Time. Stormy Antarctic wants it a bog and won't run if the ground continues to dry. Blue Cap also ran a good race at Ascot and was a winner at Epsom before that. Majestic Dawn was last year's Cambridgeshire winner. So, there's quite a few good yardsticks in here, but Derab is the sexier one, if you like, with the sexier unexposed profile. Won the first time he won earlier this year at Newmarket was as easy as you like by God knows how many lengths. So, yeah, I think that Derab should be winning this. He's 9-2, and lo and behold, SD agrees. So on we go. Next up on ITV cameras on Saturday is the 205 from Market Rasen. This is the Betway Summer Handicap Hurdle. SD, you know that I've not got a clue, so tell me where the money's going. You can get 5 places, so I'm guessing you're going to be playing each way in the 205 at Market Rasen.
Well, I wouldn't be if I was absolutely convinced of the winner, but look, just a word on Market Rasen having 3 races. They shouldn't have 3 on ITV. There should be at least 1 from Newmarket because of the Aphrodite date. Aphrodite, of course, the Greek goddess of love. No love from ITV for Newmarket, unfortunately. But back to back to Rasen, which is a lovely track, but is unfortunately sold out. But there might be a bit of a plot job here. Now, Ambassador wouldn't have a prayer on his last run, but, you know, Skelton isn't stupid. It's his sole runner in the race. It's got dead 10 stone, and you can get 16s 4 places or 14s 5 places. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do there, but could play at that sort of price there, and he's relatively unexposed. The other one who interested me was Red Force One. Now, Red Force One ran here last year, won a fairly similar race off 126. He's off 128 today. They've given him a few spins on the flat. And he just gets his conditions. So that's 2 miles on decent ground round Rasen. Owned by the Yorkshire Pudding. So, yes.
Well, Red Force One, I think, is in the ownership of Misters Fred Doan and Sir Alex Ferguson and Mr. Mason. So, yeah, interesting there. But yeah, Ambassador. To be fair to you, there, SD's been knocking on the door. His last 5 runs read 1, 2, 2, 2. So it's been going.
In very bad race.
Right, fair enough. He's been knocking on the door.
You know, it might be a plot job, is what I'm saying.
Right, fair enough.
Look, it's a race full of very bad. You find this with some jumping races. It's a race full of badly handicapped horses. I mean, Posh Boy Henderson's got one. He's got Hooper with Ben French, Davis, and Jack. I mean, he'll have a chance. He's been winning egg and spoon races around Stratford. The other one to mention is Hang In There, Emma LaBelle's got Joe Anderson taking 10 off. He had a very easy lead at Stratford last week, and his jumping is not what it could be. So I'd have reservations there.
Yeah, good. We've had a comment from Simon Smith, who says Martin Harley has said that Derab needs cut. Yes, I think you are right. Like I say, it is currently good to off at Newbury. It will be drying because the weather is pretty glorious as I look out the window, although we're a long way from Newbury. Back to Newbury for the 225. That's the next race on ITV. Has somewhat of a bit of a similarity to Market Rasen in that it's a 2.5 mile furlong, similar to the last race we just mentioned at Market Rasen. So that usually takes out my opinion. It could be a quiet-ish week from me in regards to selections as a result of the makeup of these races. Some of these will know, the likes of Withhold, the former Cesare Rich winner, etc. The only one that I thought in this race, SD, and Mark Johnston knows his way round these staying handicaps, was Mildenberger, but he is going to be top weight, and there's 13 runners in this. So, yeah, there'll be no official selection from me, given the race is over 2.5 miles a furlong. Did you have any thoughts on the 225 at Newbury?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I did the thought earlier today, and I think Z-Band should win. I don't think there's any value in his price.
He's 9-4. Yeah.
All of these, you know, they beat each other every week. Types, you know, Lucky Deal, Just Herbert, Withhold. I mean, it's about as appealing as being pinged from the COVID app at the moment. That right? I'll not be indulging that.
Yeah, we'll be skimming over that one. Couple of comments. Z-Band, Brendan Smith says that he pulled all the way around at Newcastle last time and still won easily. And yes, that would be correct. And yeah, if it is less exposed than many of these runners in this race. And Lee Jones also in the chat will tell you that often the horses in these colours with this jockey and trainer combination, Mr. Variant and Mr. Atzini, are often over bet. And like I say, he's 5-2 in that race, but wouldn't be a strong opinion from SD or myself. So we're back to Market Rasen for somewhat of a better race. I would like to think in the Summer Plate Handicap, one of the traditional big races at Market Rasen in the summer. I know SD likes this race, and I think I've actually attended it with you in the past. So where are we going in the 240 at Market Rasen, SD?
Right, look, it is full of badly handicapped horses again, this race. So you find this a lot with summer jumpers. look. I'll take some examples. So Pink Eyed Petro, last winning rating 129. He's up to 142. Poor thing. That's a given. 115 up to 123. I think you get the picture.
Yeah.
Captain Tomcat rated 132 over hurdles. Handicap has clobbered him and put him at 147 over fences for winning egg and spoon races. So it's a case, I think, of what's the best handicapped horse in the race. Now, I actually landed on two. I'll give you the rag first, because I thought Sebastian Beach was half interesting at the prices. Now, why am I saying that? Every time he runs off a break, he seems to win. So last year, for example, October 19, gap to July 20, won first time up at Southwell at a decent price of 20 to 1. The year before, he was second at Worcester at 8 to 1 after 18 months off. Year before that, he was second again. So He's not a bad trainer, Ben Paulin, and I think he's 33 sixth places. So
he's right at the bottom of the list on Odds Checker. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom to find Sebastian Beach. Yeah, 33 to 1, 6 places. Price. Yeah.
I'm not saying he'll win, but it wouldn't at all surprise me if he ran well. Now, the other one is Topofthecotswolds. Now, on Racing Post ratings, which you can't 100% trust, he was second here over a fairly similar distance, off 136 last year. Racing Post gave him 142. I don't think he truly stays 3 miles. I think 2.6 round here is absolutely ideal for him. He's off 132 today, so I would say he's not badly handicapped.
£3 claimer on as well.
Jordan, well, I don't pay too much attention to that, but Jordan Naylor is taking 3 off. He's only 7. So I'd rather play him than some poor horse that's been absolutely clobbered for beating trees, to be quite honest.
Well, SD seeking the value in the Summer Plate Handicap. That's going to be Topofthecotswolds 16 to 1, 5 places. And Sebastian Beach 33 to 1, 6 places. So SD seeking out the value of Market Rasen. We'll be back to Market Rasen for their finale. But first, we're going to Newbury for the 3 o'clock. Now, this is my type of race. This is a 6 furlong Group 3, just down my alley. This now, King's Lynn is a horse we've seen a fair bit this season. We've spoke about a lot. Now, they turned the year, and they was telling me that King's Lynn is a 5 furlong horse. So he's had 4 starts this season over 5 furlongs. Then he turns up in the Wokingham at Ascot, well in, mind you, goes off 3 to 1 favourite and finishes third. Ran perfectly well. It was an unlucky 7th, but not that sentence makes much sense, but he was 7th in the Group 1 King's Stand on the same week. So he ran twice at Ascot. So he's going to get a lot of interest. But is he better at 5? Is he better at 6? I think he's probably better at 5. So I think he might get found out here, and he's probably worth taking on. Tabdeed is the highest rated horse in this race by at least £3 to most of them. Won this race last year. I thought he ran pretty well at Newcastle 3 weeks ago. I know it's one that Brendan likes in the chat. He said it was a prep run at Newcastle last year, and he won this race last year. Exactly, Brendan. I would agree with that. That run at Newcastle, he was off nearly 300 days. There was money for him that day. He ran well with Promise Will Come On. There's a lot to like about Tabdeed. But my only worry is, to Brendan and others, I don't think there's a lot of pace on this race. And I don't often speak about pace, but when you do look at a lot of these like to be held up. King's Lynn is one of them. Tabdeed, Method, definitely. I think Royal Commando, Royal Crusade. I don't think there's a lot of pace on. There is only 7 runners, so it could be a tactical affair. So that would worry me about Tabdeed. But at the top of the market, it's very, very close between King's Lynn, who we've mentioned, Diligent Harry, who's a 3-year-old in the field, also running that Newcastle race, and Tabdeed. Any of them 3 could go off favourite, and they're all around the 5 to 2, 3 to 1 mark as we speak, before the market has settled down. Like I say, shame there's only 7 runners. Can Diligent Harry do it on turf? This will be his debut on the green stuff, so that's a question mark there. So I'm going with the outsider of 7, and I think SD might be interested in this as well. Royal Commando was a horse I actually put a nod to for Royal Ascot. He finished down the field in the Jubilee, but I just can't see why he's 12 to 1. He's right up there on ratings, and his listed win at Doncaster in March was good form, pretty good form. He was no way near good enough in the Group 1 Diamond Jubilee, as we said, but he's back down to Group 3 here. I don't know why he's 12-1. It's a shame there's only 7 runners, but I think Royal Commando is definitely the most wrong price and will be in an official selection from me. What did you make of it, SD?
I back King's Lynn. I think King's Lynn's the most likely winner. Look, Tab needs 6 now. He's doing exactly the same. Somebody said it on the chat as he did last year. I think one of the top 2 will win. Some of us back Royal Commando in the Cammage.
You did? I didn't.
At 20s. I just think he wouldn't be quite good enough for a race like this. But, stranger things have happened. You've got to be against Diligent Harry at that price because he's had a bucket and spade in his hand all his life and now he's got to get a pair of wellies on. So,
yeah.
I think there's juice in King's Lynn at 11-4 and a back to Galera.
Yeah, you might be right. And there is a standout 100-30 with Tab Deeb showing on Odds Checker and everyone else is, 5-2-ish. So, I think Tab Deeb...
Back to 2 and even money. I'd have had a shade of odds on, but roughly it's even money to 2, and I think one of them will
win. Yeah. No, I think that's a fair comment. We've got Andy Jones has just popped up in the comments. Happy Romance turned a corner last time. Needs 6 furlongs. She could be the value. She could, but Happy Romance, she strikes me as a very good, pretty decent 2-year-old, similar to Mum's Tipple. Now, SD and myself have disagreed over Mum's Tipple, but Happy Romance, out-and-out 2-year-old. Mum's Tipple, I think, was an out-and-out 2-year-old, although he has won a listed race in his older years, a little bit of a crap one. But yeah, they just come back and, they mess with the distance. I think she ran in the Group 1 last... I think she's ran some in a good race at Royal Ascot this year, Happy Romance. So, yeah, not sure. But Hannon is in form. Yeah, tricky, but I would be going with Royal Commando because I think 12-1 is too big. Right, the last race at Market Rasen we'll be talking about, thank God, is going to be it's just a standard handicap hurdle, SD. So this is kind of the third race from Market Rasen, if you like. This
should be on the telly.
Yeah, this is an additional race that's come to the TV, and
I have absolutely no idea why it's on the telly.
And you could be right. Because we're here on a Thursday night, and we're covering all ITV races as we do every week, and there's only 3 companies have got this race priced up on Odds Checker. So I think that is an indictment as to the quality or appetite for this race. There's a dead 8 runners. Did you fancy anything at all, SD, or are we skipping it?
Well, I'll tell you a story first about Breaking Waves. I've actually got a small share in one with Ollie Signey, who's a lovely chap. Breaking Waves won the race that my horse was in last time. It was the worst race you've ever seen in your life. My horse couldn't breathe and it wasn't beating that. So, I mean, that tells you all you need to know, and he's 11-2. Look, Giovanni Charge, the last twice he's been at race and he's won. He's probably not the best handicapped horse in the world, but nothing is in here. So he's favourite. He probably should be favourite. I backed him because I thought 7-2 was fair enough, but it doesn't really appeal to me, this race at all, and it certainly shouldn't be on the TV instead of the Aphrodite.
Well, yeah. Humps had made a point in the chat. He's talking about Harry Skelton, who rides one in that race, the 310, called Corn. Harry Skelton's lowest riding weight in the last 12 months is 10 stone. He will be attempting to make that 10 stone twice on the same card at Market Rasen on Saturday. One of those is called Khan, and the other one, I think you mentioned earlier, SD, was Ambassador. So it'll be...
Well, I think he's sweating for Ambassador. Nobody sweats for Milton Harris. I think he's sweating for his brother.
Yeah, he's sweating, and it's it won't be difficult to get a sweat on in this weather this week. So the final race on ITV on Saturday is the 340 from Newbury. It's the Weatherby's Super Sprint. There's not many races like this in the calendar. It's a race for 2-year-olds where the weight they carry is determined by the price they were purchased at the yearling sales. So the cheaper the horse, the less weight they carry. So quite an intricate way of doing things. There aren't many of these type of races in the calendar, so it'd be interesting to see if we can find the value. Like I say, we're dealing with 22 2-year-olds over 5 furlongs, so it's pretty difficult. Normally, the first place to start would be with Richard Hannon. He's won 3 of the last 7, but he does have 6 runners this year, so that doesn't make it any easier for us. There's not going to be an official selection from me in this. I think it's a bit of a lottery, to be honest. But one of the Hannon horses, Zoltan Star, was put up as one to watch by Hannon himself in a stable tour at the start of the season, and, quote, he'll have a great chance in the Super Sprint. Now, since Hannon made that statement, Zoltan Star hasn't really pulled up any trees, let's be honest. and he should have absolutely no chance at the weights, absolutely none. He carries one of the highest weights in this field, Zoltan Star, but his rating is only off like 78. He'll have to improve like £25 to even get close to winning this. But I'm going to have a couple of quid on him on the exchange, possibly at free figure prices, just in case he wins, because I'd be gutted if he did. He's been in my tracker, but like I say, he's not pulled up any trees. Chipolate, or Chipotle, however you want to say it. A Royal Ascot winner for a popular one for Eve Johnson Horton, probably the most popular of the week. I was there. He's 7-4 favourite, or she, should I say? That is a short price in a 22 runner race. Vintage Clouds is in there at 5-2. Vintage Clouds probably has the best form. Actually, more than probably, he definitely has the best form. He was third in the Coventry last time. I think the Coventry was an okay renewal this year. But can I put up a 5-2 shot in a 22 runner race? No, I don't think I can. So we'll be going over to SD to see if he can pick anything out. But like I say, it's probably a quiet week for me on the selection front.
Well, Richard Fahy has won it 3 times since 2013.
Yeah.
And look, other two at the top of my can, like you, I would favour Vintage Clarence over Chipotle. He's not in great form. I know she had a winner, but she's won from 28 in the last 2 weeks. Just a word on Sienna Bonnie. I have backed Sienna Bonnie. Now, I was at Windsor a couple of weeks ago. Now, this thing was 12-1 the night before. It went off 9-4. They backed it in the Woodcote as well. 12 down to 6. They obviously think something of this horse. I mean, to be fair, she looked very good at Bath, and she's not got a lot of weight on. Holly Doyle's on board her, and the stable won the race in 2016 with Miss Danvers. Now, I think you can play at 20s 5 places. That's quite appealing to me. So I backed Sienna Bonnie.
Yeah, I saw that one. It possibly one of the more exposed runners, SD. I was there that day at Epsom, and I think it had pretty softish testing conditions with what happened at Epsom that week. But yeah, ran with promise at Epsom, and like you say, you was there at Windsor when she also ran similarly as well. Back down to 5 furlongs will be to her liking, I think. But yeah, like I say, Richard Annan's got 6 runners. There's some carrying, like, there's horses in here going off 8 stone 2 and 8 stone 3. There's jockey bookings all over the place. I mean, when was the last time Tom Marquand had a runner for Richard Annan going off 40-1? That's Zoltan Star, but like I've said, it's Zoltan Star's just not pulled up any trees at all. And he finished 1 place behind Sienna Bonnie, who you've mentioned. But yeah, it's just a complete lottery. I don't normally say this very often, but yeah, I'm just avoiding that race, to be honest. Not on ITV, I don't think it is anyway, but the highest quality race of the weekend is the Irish Oaks, where Snowfall runaway Oaks winner is 1-4 to win the Irish equivalent. Simple question, SD. Snowfall, are you a backer or a layer?
You can't back her at 1-4, can you? Well, I think she'll win. I'm not having a bet in the race. I've no doubt somebody will pull one out and spoil it all for the punters, and then there'll be 7 runners. Best left alone. I hope she wins. I hope she wins while I'm back to the out. You
have, yes. Yeah. So the O'Brien family account for 6 of the 8 runners in this race. But yeah, not many of the Epsom Oaks runners have ran since. I think Mystery Angel was one of them in a race at Haydock, didn't pull up any trees. It's going to be. I think as time's going on, the Oaks form isn't looking that great as we speak, but that is something that always changes given horses will be ran and testing that form out. But yeah, she's won the Oaks by 16 lengths. I was looking at taking her on, at 1-4 just as a straight up lay, but she could replicate what she did at York and still be way too good for these guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just a shout out, I think we've got our youngest ever viewer, Cece's listening.
Oh, very well.
He's only 4.
He's only 4. Well,
a text message. She stood in front of the TV with a Barbie horse. Now, Cece, tell your mummy to listen to exactly what SD says in a couple of minutes, because we got some absolute certainties at Cartmel.
Oh, well, confident. So we went to our left field destination for SD last week was Hamilton, and this week it looks like being Cartmel. There's a couple away from the TV cameras that I'll be keeping an eye on. There's no prices as yet. But in the 4:10 at Newbury, Ready to Venture, I put this one up the other week. It was a non-runner at Sandown due to the softening ground. It was raining quite heavily at Sandown. Back to 8 furlongs, where she needs to be. A last try at this distance for Ready to Venture was pretty good. Actually, there is prices up. She's 5-1 with William Hill. When she last tried over a mile, she was third behind Aurea, that won at Sandown, the race that Ready to Venture got withdrew from, and Creative Flair, who's had a pretty decent season. So I'll be looking at Ready to Venture in the 4:10. That will be up as an official selection. And then the 2:25 at Newmarket, the race that has been shunned by the ITV cameras this week, much to SD's displeasure. Oh, sorry, no, I'm on about the wrong race. But anyway, we're at Newmarket. Anyway,
I should be on as well.
Yeah, the 2:20 is a decent race, actually. Yeah, Class 2 handicap. There's some interesting names in this race. The 2:25, Stunning Beauty, one I put up at Ascot that sat in the stalls to my displeasure. Finest Sound has been around the block. Beat Le Bon. Irish Admiral is the one I'm probably going to give another chance to, turning into somewhat of a cliff horse, possibly. Do I give him another chance? Probably yes. Is 11-2. I suspect a lot of people, including some people in this chat, probably Brendan Smith, will be asking themselves, shall we give Irish Admiral another chance? The answer from me is yes. There's a dead 8 runners. I think I'll be having a go on Irish Admiral. It's good to firm ground at Newmarket. That is exactly what he wants. I'm hoping you can put a line through his effort in the Royal Hunt Cup, which was pretty much not an effort at all. But yeah, I'll be giving a go last chance saloon for Irish Admiral, and that will be my 4th and final official selection. SD, you're the man for left field picks for a Saturday.
Just a word on that race at Newmarket. I hope Rifleman doesn't run round like a shopping trolley out of control again and end up on the rolling mile.
Yeah, well, Rifleman in his last 2 races has been unseated at Sandown when Ryan Moore was on, and then he basically gave the race away when he hung right at York the time after that. So I would be avoiding him. He looks like a bit of a boy to me, but he has been gelded. Go on then, Cartmel.
So are you ready?
Yeah.
This is actually one at Haydock as well now. Just a question for you, Mr. Smith. You know nothing about jump racing. You tell us you know absolutely nothing. But if you had a lady riding handicap hurdle, which lady rider would you want to ride over the jumps?
Oh, that would be Bryony Frost.
Thank you. And I didn't even prompt you for that.
No, you didn't.
I texted him earlier. Now, look, there's a lovely horse called Beano in. Now, this has absolutely everything going for it. Billy Hill's put it up at 13-2. It was 15-2 earlier. Now, it's run 10 times at Cartmel. It's won 6 of them. It's had a spin at Kelso, get the handicap mark down. The last time it ran at Cartmel, it won. It's running off 119. Now, last year, it won at Cartmel off 126. They've put Bryony on. And these races were for lady riders at Cartmel are targeted because they want to win them. Now, Bryony would not be riding this for nothing. It has absolutely everything going off of it for it, and I couldn't believe it was 13-2. So I'd be very, very confident. Beano.
I like it. So that's Beano in the 2:30 at Cartmel. SD is very, very confident. 13-2. William Hill, the only people up with that at the moment.
If you can get on with them, if not, send your wife into the betting shop.
Yeah, 13-2. Anything else, SD, elsewhere? Haydock?
Yes. Now, don't laugh at me. We've got an absolutely great horse who's officially rated 70 running at Cartmel called Elixir. Now, I love Elixir.
What time?
He's never won. 3:45. That's my last race at Cartmel. I'm doing Haydock tomorrow, 4 at Cartmel, and then back down Haydock in the evening. So caravans get out of the way.
So on Saturday, just to get this right, SD, you're going to go to Cartmel on Saturday and do 4 races, and then you're going to get in your car and drive to Haydock and do the whole card at Haydock Saturday evening.
Yes,
that's a brilliant effort.
Monday with the lovely Leona Mare as well.
Right, go on then. Talk to me about the 3:45 at Cartmel, because this is a bad race.
Now, on paper, this horse is 0 from 25, but Cartmel may well suit it. But the interesting thing with Elixir is he travels better than me, Leona Mare's Mercedes. I mean, he travels like an absolute dream. So these are his last 6 runs. I'll give you the bet first started price.
So this is Elixir in the 3:45. Elixir, 18
4 places. So you can play these markets in running if you're clever enough. So he started off, I'll give you the Betfair SP, 21. He traded at 11 last time. The time before, 11 and a half. He traded at 1.7. The time before that, 11.7, traded at 3.1. The time before that, 19, traded at 4.1. Time before that, he blotted his copybook and did his Betfair starting price. But the time before that, 16 and a half, and he traded at 2.4. So I think you know what I'm telling you what to do here.
Yeah.
Is you back him and you just let him back in running. But I think Cartmel may well suit him, and he may well grab a place. So you don't always have to back the winner in racing. If you trade well enough, you should make a profit off of it here.
I like it.
I don't think they'll go off at 80.
Well, we're bringing all the angles to you this week. We've got Market Rasen, Cartmel, Haydock, Newmarket, Newbury. We got in running action from SD. I mean, what more do you want from doubles and
I'll give
trebles?
you one at Haydock as well.
Right, go on then. Last one.
First race at Haydock, so 3:45 at Cartmel. I'll whiz down the M6.
And you're going to be at Haydock for 6:15 ahead of the 6:20 at Haydock. The opening.
I'll be at Haydock for 4:30 if it was anything to do with me. Look, Glennesque, who's trained by Rocky Wall. I mean, last year he flattered to deceive. He really did. But when's the last time was a lot better. Now it's good to soft at Haydock at the moment, and it's drying out. It's like being in Barbados here at the moment. I'm only 2 miles from the track. It was good to firm last time. He won off 63. I can't believe he'll not win again off 68. Now, there's only Billy who'll put this up, so get your wives on it.
11 to 4.
At 11 to 4, I thought he'd be near a 7 to 4. And I think he'll win the first at Haydock. Right,
well, there you go. So you can bag yourself a couple of winners at Cartmel, then you can down to Haydock and bag yourself a winner in the first at Haydock. And yeah, what more do you want? So this week, we've done Wolverhampton on Monday, SD. Yep.
Yeah. We were at York Saturday, Wolverhampton Monday.
Yep.
Haydock tomorrow.
Yep.
Cartmel Saturday, and all the way back down to Haydock.
Well,
so it'll be fun times. Oh, and I've got a second vaccine Saturday morning. That'll be fun. So.
Oh, well, I mean, SD, it's got all corners of the British Isles covered from a racing perspective. So, right, that'll wrap us up. We've gone to 7 minutes past 9. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Final comment will go to Hump, who says there's a runner for SD in the 450 at Cartmel. It'll be on the M6 by then, Hump, but I'll call it out for you anyway. Grumpy McGrumpface. I think that's more to do with the holder rather than the horse itself. But we'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to SD, and hopefully we'll be back again next week to preview the Group 1 King George and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot, and I'll be lucky enough to be there in person. See you soon.
And so will I. Good evening, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you.